All right, hello everyone. Good morning or afternoon. So today we are going to review RAGE, and this is something that we all should be familiar with or should have heard before. So we're going to go through each step and make sure that we know it really well because this is something that we are going to be talking about a lot moving forward. So before we begin, I want to know how well you know RAGE right now. So on the side, take a couple seconds to answer the question, do you know this strategy really well, kind of well, not so well, or you really never heard of it before? So, what is RAGE? RAGE is a strategy that we use when we answer questions about a story or an article. So it is a strategy to help us find the answer, but it is not the answer itself. So this is a really helpful strategy that we're going to use every time we have to answer a question about a story or an article. So for example, let's say we are reading a story in class or reading an article. Here we have The Circuit by Francisco Jimenez. Say we're reading this article and all of a sudden we come across a question. Question looks something like this, and you're like, oh shoot, how do I answer this? Well, you're in luck because if you think about the RAGE strategy, you automatically have some steps in mind about how to answer this question. So the first thing you want to do is read it, of course, and then you want to look at your RAGE strategy. So here we go, not the physical like rage, but the RAGE strategy. And that stands for restate, answer the question, get evidence, just a fancy way for saying make a citation, and then explain your citation. So I'm going to say that one more time. These are the 4 steps of RAGE. Restate the question, answer the question, get evidence or make a citation, and explain your citation. So 4 steps, R.A.G.E. And this is the strategy that we're going to use whenever we come across a question and we need to answer it. So let's start with number 1. What does restate stand for? Well, restate means change the question into a statement. So pretty simple. All you're going to do is look at the question and ask yourself, how do I change this into a sentence? So I think this is the most common mistake that I see is that people just jump right into the answer. You want to wait a little bit before you answer the question. Make sure you frame your answer in a complete sentence. And the way you can do that is by restating. So let's look at this black side here, this example. The question is asking, what is the color of the shirt that Naruto is wearing? Pretty obvious, looks like he's wearing an orange shirt. So you think to yourself, well, it's orange. But that's a wrong restate. It is orange is a wrong restate. So we would lose points for that answer. A correct restate would take this question here and change it into a sentence by saying the color of the shirt that Naruto is wearing is orange. So here we answered the question, but we framed it in a sentence. So how do you do that? We're going to talk about it. Why do we do this? It may look like more work, but it makes your answer sound formal and professional. So moving forward in your academic career as you go through middle school, this answer is not going to cut it. Your teachers are not going to like a 3-word answer. You want to make sure that you're framing your answer in a sentence that incorporates or includes the entire question in it. So how do you do that? We'll talk about it right now. So there are 3 steps to restating a question. The first one is to take out the question phrase. The question phrase is anything like who is, what is, when did, or how. So any of the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, why, and how, those words you want to delete from the question. You don't want them in there. Then you want to make sure the remaining sentence, so what's left after you delete everything, makes sense. Sometimes you need to add a the in the beginning. And then, only then, will you answer the question. So if you notice, answering the question is number 3. You want to do these steps first. So let's look at this example question here. It's asking me, who is the principal of Wahewa Middle School? You might know the answer right away, but we need to do step number 1 before we write the answer. So take out the question phrase, whether it's who is, what is, when did, or how. What is the question phrase that I need to delete from this question? If you said who is, you are correct. So I need to delete this when I rewrite my answer. So instead, I'm going to start with the. So the principal of Wahewa Middle School, and that's what I have right now. Now I need to look at number 2 and make sure the sentence makes sense. So if I say the principal of Wahewa Middle School, Ursula Kawaguchi, or the principal of Wahewa Middle School, Miss Kawaguchi, that doesn't make sense. So I have to add something here. I think I need to add an is. Yeah, that sounds correct. The principal of Wahewa Middle School is, and then I can answer it. All right, so now I look at number 3. Now I can finally answer the question. The principal of Wahewa Middle School is Miss Kawaguchi, period. So notice how I went through these 3 steps, taking out the question phrase, making sure the rest of the question makes sense, and then answering it to get a fully restated question. Okay, so let's try one more, and you're going to help me with this one. So what team won the Super Bowl? You probably know which team won the Super Bowl, but we're going to restate this question. So what is the question phrase or word that I need to take out or delete from this question? If you said what, you are correct. So I can start with team won the Super Bowl. All right, now I need to look at number 2. Does this sentence make sense? Team won the Super Bowl? That does not make sense. So what do I have to add to this sentence in order for it to make sense? If you said the in the beginning, you are correct. And if you said to add an is at the end, you are correct. So the team that won the Super Bowl is, and now I can answer it, the Buccaneers. All right. So 3 steps we have to go through to fully restate a question. Let's practice now. Pick the best restatement or the correct restatement for this question. What is the holiday on February 14th? All right. Next one. What is the best or correct restatement for this question? When did COVID-19 become a global pandemic? Read all the answers before choosing. All right. So